Trump administration requests it, would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. But, you know, let me say this. I do think it's important that we all recognize that there's going to be a lot of pressure on states and state officials. And I can assure you, we're going to work really hard to deliver. The key here is that, you know, every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to protect our citizens, to protect our residents, and protect our states, and certainly to hold the line on democracy and the rule of law as a basic principle, right?
I'm not suggesting on mass deportation that I've got a crisp answer for you, but we will be very aggressive, both with bullhorn, with legal action, with any other action we deem to be necessary. I'll tell you one example which I've never spoken about. This is in particular to your question. There was a time, I'm not sure if you recall, but there was a time when ICE was just randomly showing up on street corners and apprehending more males and female brothers and sisters from the immigrant community, newly arrived community, almost entirely Latino. And we knew there was one area, I won't say where it is, near where I live, where that was at risk, although I don't think they ever actually did show up there. I just went there one night with my detail and just hung out there. So where I go places, several members of security go with me. Whether that scared them off or not, I don't know. But it's an example of a small step that gives you a sense that we're willing to try anything if it's contrary to our values. Again, I'll conclude again with this. If it's contrary to our values, we will fight to the death.
Sworn-in LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell, who said his officers will not assist in mass deportations.
LAPD will protect our immigrant community. LAPD officers will not take action to determine a person's immigration status and will not arrest someone for their status. And LAPD will not assist with mass deportations.
President-elect Donald Trump continues the push to deport illegal immigrants. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly says the state's National Guard will not play a role in federal immigration issues.
There are ways that the Guard can be federalized, but it would not be under my watch that I would send them to the border or to send them to deal with immigration issues.
Governor Kelly points to past issues in which she has declined to send the state's National Guard to assist in federal matters. The president-elect calls for the mass deportation of migrants has sparked concern about the logistics of such a task.
I don't think it's particularly feasible.
Governor Shinseki, you've said that you're not going to help with Donald Trump's aspirations to do mass deportations. I think there are a lot of people out there who are happy to hear that. What can you specifically do to stop his efforts moving forward as once he becomes president?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, as you know, it's unlawful. You can't use the military. You can't do mass deportation. So any federal administration disrupting family status and the economy, inhumane, cruel, unfair, discriminate policies that, again, are illegal on their face, we are not going to cooperate in any way in that effort.
Boston has considered itself a sanctuary city, which, as you know, limits cooperation with some federal immigration laws. President-elect Trump has promised mass deportations after he returns to the White House. How will you respond as mayor of the largest city in the state, the largest city in New England, and a powerful city in this country?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, for the last decade or so, we have had laws on the books. I was actually serving on the city council at that point when we passed the Trust Act. And I think it's important to get a little bit into what exactly that means, because sometimes people use the term sanctuary city to mean a city that is welcoming of immigrants, which of course we are and have always been. And sometimes that is used to suggest that there might be some immunity where criminal actions are you look the other way at and this and that. So in terms of Boston's policy, there's a prohibition on resources and personnel going to enforce civil immigration detainers, meaning Boston Police and other departments cannot cooperate with ICE when it comes to detaining on civil warrants.
Well, we have prohibited by law in the state of Illinois the use of any of our existing county jails or prisons for the purpose of rounding people up and detaining them. But they're talking about rounding up people who are law-abiding, undocumented immigrants in this country. Look, I'm going to do everything that I can to protect our undocumented immigrants. They're residents of our state. And I also obviously need to make sure that whatever they're doing in our state, the federal government, that it is actually within federal law or state law for them to do it.